Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to another episode of Tell Me More. Today's episode is actually episode 10, which I can't believe I made that many, and some of you guys are really into Tell Me More. I've gotten a few messages where you guys are like, oh my gosh, I missed Tell Me More, what happened? And don't worry, nothing happened. It's just I had technical difficulties with my camera. If you guys didn't hear, I believe I talked about it in my last vlog where I talked about it in my last Get Ready With Me, and it's just been a long journey. I had like 2 different cameras. I had a Sony camera, then I got a Canon, and I didn't like both of them. The Canon didn't work. I didn't like the Sony personally. It wasn't a problem. So then I got a new camera, and so now we are back to normalness. So I have read these stories 3 different times, actually more than 3 times. There's actually a really long process. I read the email and then I have to type out the email. So I have to read the email again, make sure that I typed it out right so that I have to read it again, and then I read it again when I'm filming. It actually goes through my brain a lot more than I think it actually does. I have 3 stories that I want to talk about today. One of them is a little bit controversial. It'll be the 3rd story, and the reason why it's a little controversial is because it has a lot to do with religion. I have my opinions about that, but we will get to that later. Sorry, I think Clem bumped into the... Okay, sweetie. She always needs to sit right next to me, but right next to me is a tripod, so she kind of hits it sometimes. I also took off her collar because it was really loud in the last couple of videos. Vlogs, they're fine, and Get Ready With Me's, they're fine, but I feel like when I'm doing a sit-down talking video, it can get a little annoying, so I totally understand that. Now that the weather has cooled down, my fans are off, I can tolerate, you know. Some of you guys asked me why my parents just don't turn on the AC. Actually, our home never came with an AC system because we're so close to the beach, so they think that the beach breeze is good enough, but it's not. But it's okay because all the apartments I've been looking at these days are all AC systems, but that's also because I'm not staying in my area right now. I'll actually be moving a little bit down over there. But let's get started with the stories. I'm really excited because I specifically chose these stories because I was so excited to talk about them, but I never got to talk about them, so we're talking about them. Okay, first story is, hi Michelle, thank you so much for creating this segment. I love you and Kim so much and never miss a video. Thank you. It's my first time ever really expressing this to anyone, but your last Tell Me More episode really hit home for me. I'm 22 and never dated before. I know people say I'm still young, so don't worry about it. You'll find someone eventually. I understand all that, but I'm still anxious over it. I'm not on any dating apps, but not against them. I will definitely try it out. There is still some stigma around it where I am from, so I'm a bit self-conscious about using them. I honestly would prefer to meet someone organically. I mean, who doesn't, right? However, that seems a bit unlikely as I am quite awkward around guys and it's hard for me to make friends. I went to an all-girls high school and was the typical good girl that never stayed out late after school or partied much, but I thought it'll be okay. I'll have many more chances once I'm in university. However, during my time in uni, I didn't involve myself very much and would go straight to work or home after classes, and now I've just graduated uni, so the opportunity to meet guys organically around my age just decreased significantly. I recently started my first full-time job. It's incredibly busy, and I'm also too tired after work to do anything other than eat and sleep. I do believe that I might just be making excuses for myself because I'm afraid of rejection. After graduating, I've realized how fast time goes by and that life will only get busier from now. I really want to put myself out there, as I've often heard people say that after a relationship, you learn more about what you like and dislike in a relationship and grow as a person. Other people normally start having their first relationships in high school. They would have already made their mistakes and know how to deal with certain situations in a romantic context. Also, I guess I'm just afraid that I will ruin a perfectly good relationship due to my inexperience. After writing this out, I realized I have a lot of fears, and I feel like the only way to overcome them is to stop being afraid and start dating. But at the same time, I don't want to just get into a relationship for the sake of experience, or is that the correct thing to do? I feel conflicted and don't know what to do. I guess I don't really know what I'm trying to say, but any words of advice would be appreciated. So, with this, I feel like there's not much I can say because I know some people will be like, Michelle, you've never been in a serious relationship, but I've also been in a lot of fucked up friendships where I know what I expect from any relationship, because if you think about it, a romantic relationship, the only thing romantic about it is that you guys potentially will want to marry each other. There's sexual tension. There's all that stuff. But if you go down to the nitty-gritty of it, it's a friendship. It always starts from a friendship. When you get into a relationship with someone, if it's romantically, there should still be a friendship, because without a friendship, there is no base to your relationship. That's what I believe, at least. I feel like when you say that you're afraid of this whole dating thing, you have to look at it as it's not like a challenge to find someone who will date you. It's a way of finding new friends who potentially can become your mate. I don't know why I said mate, like we're animals or something. So a concern that you said was that the opportunity to meet guys organically around your age has decreased significantly. I totally understand that. I would say that the chances of you meeting someone has not decreased significantly. I think you're the only one holding yourself back from that. And what I mean by that is that your thought process was that you were going to meet someone in uni, but that doesn't mean you can't meet someone. You can meet someone at work. You're there all the time. You can also meet someone through friends. I would say you're so young. You said that you started your full-time job and you like barely have any time to do anything. I think you need to spend time not only with your friends, but also on yourself. I understand work is important because finances are important, unfortunately. I'm not saying money makes you happy, but money helps a lot with living, and I get it and I know it. So I know that working is very important, but at the same time, if we were to stop living tomorrow, it would have been such a waste for you to just have worked when it was all gonna end. Like, you know what I mean? I guess I just don't know where I stand between that, because it's like you need to find a perfect middle for your life where it's enough work and it's enough play. And I feel like you need more play. You need to go out with your friends. You need to go have adventures. Okay, Clem. Okay, yeah. You need to, you know, like enjoy your life. And the more you're out there, I feel like the chances will come up. Obviously, a lot of people meet people through mutual friends. That could happen for you. Your chances are not low. I feel like you're the only one stopping yourself, and you're the only one lowering your chances. Something else you said was also, I really want to put myself out there, as I've often heard people say that after each relationship you learn more about what you like and dislike in a relationship and grow as a person. That's also for friendships. Don't think that you're missing out on something because you haven't had a romantic relationship. I have learned so much from friendships of what I like and what I don't like. You can learn a lot from a friendship relationship. Don't think that a relationship that's romantic is the only way you're gonna learn what you like in a relationship, because at the end of the day, they should still treat you the same way. You said, I'm just afraid that I will ruin a perfectly good relationship due to my inexperience. I didn't know exactly what you meant by inexperience. I assumed, because I don't know, I assumed you're talking about sex, but I'm not too sure at the same time. So I'm gonna pretend that you mean by inexperience of dating and sex. Regardless, any inexperience, I think that shouldn't scare you, and you shouldn't be scared that it's gonna ruin your relationship, because if you're in a relationship with the person who's right for you at the end of the day, then that shouldn't even matter, because he should love you or she should love you regardless. They should be able to, I don't even know why that would even be a problem, I guess. That shouldn't be a problem. And if they have a problem, like they're like, you're too inexperienced, you don't know anything, girl, you don't even need them to begin with, because that's some bullshit. That's some mind game playing bullshit. Like, no thank you. Last thing is, I don't just want to get into a relationship for the sake of experience, or is that the correct thing to do? Absolutely not. I think you should get into a relationship because you genuinely want to be in a relationship with whoever you end up in a relationship with. You shouldn't do it because, oh, this is good tally points for experience, this is gonna, you know, get me by to the next one. You should be in it because you like spending time with the person, and you're learning how to love them, but not only that, but you're learning how to love yourself. It shouldn't be looked as an experience until the end. Don't think like, oh, this is good for the books kind of thing. Like, it's just that's what it's supposed to be. It's memories, not experience. It's memories. You growing up now, me growing up now, anyone who grows up now and learns what they learn is just, it's a part of life. Like, just let it flow, you know? Like, I feel like you're trying to control it. Just let it flow. Just let it happen. Whatever happens, happens. I hope that helped. I didn't mean to come off aggressively. I feel like I came off a little bit aggressively, and it's because I feel like a lot of girls or women or men sometimes who feel like just because they haven't been in a serious relationship romantically, I feel like they think like, oh, I don't have experience in the world, like I'm not worthy enough, or like, how am I going to get into a next relationship? And it used to bother me too when I was younger, but now that I'm older, and not that much older, and I'm not that much wiser, but I am wiser than when I was younger, and I've learned that romantic relationships are just a part of life, and if it happens, it'll happen. But I can't stop living my life, and just because I don't know what it's like to be in a romantic relationship doesn't mean I don't know how to live life. I still respect my relationships, and I want my relationships to respect me, whether they're relationships with family or friends. It doesn't matter. Like, a romantic relationship doesn't put me in a category of like, oh, you've never dated someone seriously. Like, that's just dumb. So don't let that be a part of like your fear, if you get what I mean. Second story is, and I have a disclaimer because the second story was a bit shocking to me. I got a little bit, I'm not gonna lie, I feel like I might come off to be really mean, and I'm assuming that the writer is actually younger, but I think when I talk, it's gonna sound very like aggressive. And the reason why is because I feel like when I read this email and I wrote it out and I put in my comments, I really felt like I was talking to a little sister. And I just wanted to like give her all of my 2 cents, basically. So I'm going to read it, and I want you guys to let me know down in the comments what you think about this one. And here we go. Hi Michelle, I've been a longtime viewer and I love watching your Tell Me More series. There's been something on my mind for a while and I would really appreciate it if you could offer your advice. One of my high school friends introduced me to her boyfriend, and he is a really cool guy with a sense of humor that I just get. Over the past few months, I've started to develop romantic feelings for him. Every time I socialize with him, it's with a big group of friends, including my best friend. I always felt like he treats me differently than other girls in our friendship group. We started texting recently, and I feel like I have so much more in common with him compared to my friend. We study the same major, and he is 1 academic year ahead of me, so he always helps me with my degree. He has always been very professional when we text and never indicated any attraction to me, as we only talk about school, nothing about relationships. He has always been very professional when we text and never indicated any attraction to me, as we only text about school, nothing about relationships. On the other hand, my friend complains about aspects of his personality when I find it cute. I know that these feelings for him are wrong, and I really don't want to lose my friendship, as we have been friends for almost 7 years, and she is practically like a sister to me. But at the same time, he is the first guy that has made me feel like I want to build a future with. He is 100% my ideal type, and I genuinely feel as though we are soulmates. Last week, we went to a friend's house for a party, and he was slightly drunk but told me something to the extent of how he wished he met me before my friend and how he would have dated me over my friend. I was taken back, as he is a very loyal and pretty much the perfect boyfriend for my friend. But now I feel even more confused and conflicted as to whether I should confess and tell him. I really don't want to lose my best friend. She is like family to me, but at the same time, deep down, I feel like this guy is my soulmate and we are meant to be. Thank you for taking the time to read, and I would really appreciate it if you could provide advice on your channel. I feel as though I can't confide in any of my friends in real life, as I would definitely get judged. And I practically have no one to talk about this with. Love your channel and would be super grateful to hear your advice. All the best. Hope you and your family stay safe through coronavirus. Thank you, first of all. Second of all, I have a lot to say this, and if you're watching this, I genuinely don't mean this in a mean way. I mean it in a big sister, don't screw it up way. So first off, I'm just going to be straight up with you. I don't think you should do it. Whatever you're thinking about, don't do it. don't do it. So I'm gonna go down the whole letter and I'm gonna read out the things that came out to my attention. First being, I always felt like he treats me differently than other girls in our friendship group. For me, I feel like that's normal, because one, you have a connection with him, like you created like a friendship where it's platonic, because you guys have the whole degree thing in common and you are his girlfriend's best friend. And I personally think that if you're the best friend, he's gonna treat you a little bit better because, I don't know, like, he has to look good to you. It makes sense to me. Maybe you're reading into it that I don't know, because I obviously am not in your situation. Then you said, on the other hand, my friend complains about aspects of his personality when I find it cute. I feel like that's not a valid point. I feel like you're just saying that because you're like, oh, I would be a better girlfriend because I like his personality better. But if you actually think about it, there's a lot of things that we don't like about certain people, but we just do it. Like, we just deal with it. Like, there's a lot of things that I don't like about my brother or my mom or my dad, but it's like, they're family, so I keep them. It's not like, even though Kim is my best friend, there are things about her that I don't like, and there's things that she doesn't like about me, and we complain about them, I'm sure, but it's like, but we're friends, you know? Like, there's always gonna be something you complain about, and if you don't, then then I believe that you're really sucked in. You also said he is 100% my ideal type, and I genuinely feel as though we are soulmates. I wanted to point that out because it's just like so shocking to me, but at the same time, like, you can't help but feel that way, and I totally get that, but at the same time, unfortunately, it's just not your timing. Regardless of if he is the right person for you and he is your soulmate, timing's not it right now. And you gotta leave it alone. That's just how it is. Like, I don't know what to tell you. And this part about him being drunk and how he said that he wished he met you first and how he would have dated you before his friend, that was his mistake. He should have never said that. He fucked up. He literally fucked up. He should have never put that in your mind, because now you feel like, okay, I can do this. Maybe he'll choose me over my friend. But it's wrong. Period. And I'm not saying that you falling for it or you believing him is wrong. I'm saying that he even saying that to you and like taking your hopes and like bringing it all the way up here, that was wrong of him. Like, that was just not, that was uncalled for. These last two things that I have to say are very important, I feel like. And I want you to understand where I'm coming from. Like, I genuinely want you, as the viewers and the person who sent me the email, to really, really think about these last two things, because I think they're the most important things. The first one is, you said, I really don't want to lose my best friend. She is like family to me. If she is family to you, or if you don't want to lose her, this shouldn't even have been an email to write. And I feel like you wrote it to me because you're really stuck, and I get that. But if this friend of yours is genuinely like family, not like you just say it because you're close and she comes over all the time, but genuinely like family, like Kim is genuinely family to me. Like, I genuinely find her like she feels like blood to me. Like, she feels like a sister to me. And that's not just for fun. It's genuine. And I've only had those kind of friendships like twice in my life. And if she is that person for you, don't mess it up. Don't mess it up. Friendships are so, good ass friendships are so rare. And for you to do that to her because of a boy would be selfish. So if that's what you're going for, if that's what you want to do because you don't care, then go ahead, do it for your selfish needs because you think he's your soulmate, because he's the one for you. And if that's all you need, then do it. But if you're really this confused, obviously it means something. Obviously you care about her. And obviously you know right from wrong. You didn't write this message because you actually don't know right from wrong. You wrote it because you wanted me to say it out loud. And I'm saying don't do it. Because that's just fucked up. And if the timing is right for you because you feel like he's your soulmate, then the timing will line up, whether it's 10 years from now or 5 years from now or 5 months from now. Who knows? But if it's meant to be, it will happen. Whether you are friends with this person then or not, it'll happen. Who knows? Maybe hypothetically 5 years from now, you guys end up starting dating and you're soulmates, and this girl who's your best friend can't handle it, then she chooses to walk away. But you respected the friendship enough to respect her and not do anything about it. But if you're saying he is a soulmate and he's supposed to be and it's meant to be, then it'll happen. And when that happens and you choose to go that route and you respected her and she chooses to walk out, that's her problem. But you still did it respectfully. You get what I mean? Last thing is more of like a wake-up call, just so that I want you to hear what you said. And that is that you technically haven't told any of your friends and you're only telling me because you would definitely get judged. To me, that said a lot. And the reason I say that is because you clearly won't tell your other friends because you know it's wrong. Because you know they'll judge you, and because you won't get the answer you want. And I'm sorry that I can't be the person who says, go ahead girl, do whatever you want. But I have a very special place for friends in my heart. I think friends are everything. At the end of the day, when you and a guy break up, whether that's marriage or not, friends are everything. Friends are there to comfort you, to have fun with you, to cry with you, to be happy with you. And when you find the right person, that person should do that with you because they're your friend. But don't lose her if she's a good friend for you. Don't mess that up because you want a guy. Okay, moving on to the third story. The third story is the one that's a bit controversial. It has a lot to do with religion. For those of you who are religious or whatever the case may be, who can put yourself in another person's shoe, I would love to hear what you guys have to say. If you've been in the same situation, I would love to hear what you say. Regardless, I would love to hear what you say. Of course, like I always say though, if your comment is rude, I will get rid of it. It's common sense. Like, I don't want your negativity on my channel. A lot of people get butthurt when I delete their comments, but it's like, it's my channel. So if you're gonna say something rude, I'm gonna delete it. It's literally common sense. Hi Michelle, just wanted to start by saying I love your videos and you are such a positive light on YouTube. I'm going through some internal battles with my relationship and religion, and I think your advice would be super helpful, especially since you are religious yourself. My boyfriend and I are 23 years old. We've been together for almost 6 years. For a little bit of background info, I was raised Christian as a little kid, but have since grown apart from Christianity. I now lean slightly towards Christianity, but ultimately consider myself agnostic. My boyfriend was also raised Christian. When we first started dating, he went to church sometimes, but only because his parents made him feel obligated to. He didn't have a strong connection to his faith, and our slightly different religious views were not a deal breaker in our relationship. Throughout our college years, he has become a more devout Christian. He attends small, large groups. He goes to church every Sunday on his own accord. He prays every day. He follows the teachings of the Bibles, etc. Our differences in religious views have now become a deal breaker in our relationship on his end. I completely understand where he's coming from because being raised Christian myself, I know how important it is for God to be in the center of a relationship. So I've been trying to learn more about Christianity, and the end goal is to become a Christian. But I don't know if I'll be able to. There are certain parts of the religion that don't align with my morals, views on gay marriage, abortion, etc., and I don't want to give up my values for a religion or a relationship. Beyond that, it's hard for me to believe in a higher being without enough evidence. I also feel wrong for trying to convert to Christianity just for a relationship. Regardless, I've told him that I'm open to converting, so I've been going to church with him. We pray together, and I'm planning on reading some books he recommended. I feel a lot of pressure because this can only end in two ways. I either become a Christian and we stay together, or I don't and we break up. I'm open to Christianity, but ultimately I don't know if I can do it, and I don't want to waste his time or mine if I can't. I know that converting is a long process and can take years, but I don't want to spend 10 years trying to become a Christian only to realize that I can't. I also feel like the longer we stay together, the more invested we get into the relationship and the harder it'll be to break up. I don't want to just give up without even trying, but I also feel like there's so much at stake. Our time, feelings, I really love him, and I just don't know what the best thing to do here is. Please let me know if you have any advice. Regardless, thank you so much for taking the time to read my story. So, first thing is, that must be very hard. I feel like that has to be hard. So I want to start off basically in like the middle of the email and start with, I don't want to give up my values for a religion or a relationship. I personally think that if you are feeling like your values have to change, whether that's for a religion or a relationship, I think you need to evaluate whether or not both those are important to you. Because once you determine whether they are important to you, then you will find your situation to be a lot more clear, I feel like. And what I mean by that is, are your values more important than your relationship? Because right now at this point, I feel like you're only choosing religion for the relationship. So I'm going to say that religion and relationship right now are in the same category. So I'm asking, are your values more important? Do you really think your values can change for this relationship? Is that important enough to you? Is your relationship important enough to you for your values to change? Because that's a lot, and I get it. This part is just my opinion. You said beyond that, it's hard for me to believe in a higher being without enough evidence. My opinion to that is just, that's what Christianity is. Believing in God and believing in Jesus Christ and dying on the cross to save us from our sins. That is all faith. It comes down to faith. We believe it without having to see it. And I know that's very hard. Trust me. I myself, growing up Christian, still have doubts and continue to have doubts. But that's what faith is. You mentioned that converting is a long process and it can take years. I'm not sure what kind of branch of Christianity that you guys are in, but you don't need like a whole thing to convert to Christianity. It's like you believe and then that's it. Like, you're a Christian. So I don't know why you think it might take a long time, and I don't know, maybe that's your personal thing. Like, you're saying, like, personally it might take a very long time to convert. Maybe that's what you're saying. But really, ultimately, once you believe that one thing, it's not like you have to go through the church to, you know, and not only that, but I just feel like everyone's walk with Christ is so different. You do not need to have the same walk as your boyfriend. And he needs to understand that just because you have a different walk doesn't mean that you don't believe. But obviously you stated you find it hard to believe. But just a reminder, just to have that in mind. Last thing is, I really love him and I just don't know what the best thing to do here is. This is what I specifically wrote in the comments. I think you need to tell him that you are willing to learn, but you have different morals that are hard to change because that is who you are. If he has changed and doesn't have the same views or are really against them, then the relationship is not what you think it once was. Have a conversation with him and tell him your concerns. Do what makes you happy. I feel like he's just in a different, like, mindset than you are. I feel like you guys need to get on, like, the same page. But then again, I only have this email to go off by, so I don't know what kind of conversations you guys have. I just hope that you figure it out one day. And of course, I just mean everything, like, as a friend. There will never be a time on my Tell Me More where I know best, because there's no such thing. No one knows best. Someone can be wiser and have gone through a lot of shit, but doesn't mean that you know best. Even if someone has dealt with the same thing as you, they will not be better than you. They don't know better than you. There's no such thing like that. They will have advice for you because they've dealt with it, but their emotions are not your emotions. They will never be my emotions, and my emotions will never be your emotions. I can read these stories all day long and I can relate to them, but they will never be the same because you will deal with them a different way. So I don't want you guys to ever think like, oh, Michelle knows best, or Michelle's acting like she knows it all, or she's acting like she's so wise. And I'm not. This whole thing is just me telling you what I would do. I hope you guys enjoyed these stories. I loved reading them. I loved talking about them. Let me know what you guys thought about them down in the comments below. I didn't have a drink of the day because I knew I wasn't gonna drink it because I was so excited to talk about the emails. But I'm really excited to move out because then I'll have a kitchen, and I really want to do like a segment in Tell Me More where we make like drinks together, and then I sit down and drink the drinks while we have our little conversations. I have this whole image of Tell Me More, trust me. I also changed the setting of Tell Me More, obviously. One of the things is I never wanted Tell Me More to be like a structured like backdrop or like a wall or, you know, things like that. I wanted it to be more laid back, where I have this whole image in my head, but I wanted it to be more homey, like, you know, just friends sitting, chit-chatting, gossiping, things like that. So I changed my setting. I hope you guys don't mind. It's still white and aesthetically pleasing, but I feel like it gives more homey vibes. The wall was just not doing it for me. It felt too proper, and I was like, no, I'm over it. I hope you guys enjoyed these stories today. I love talking about them. Please give this video a big thumbs up. Comment down below. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!